Got a life problem? Danny Bonaduce is here to help. No problem is too big or too small.
If you have questions about, child support, custody, things like that, can you move over state lines, things like that, we have the man, and this is my opinion because I didn't Google it, but I can tell that his customers are pretty satisfied. We got him. You get to talk to him free. You should be pretty pleased by that. It's happening in 1 minute. Danny Bonaduce, life coach, with the one and only Rick Jones.
Danny Bonaduce, life coach. Danny Bonaduce, life coach. You was a Hollywood star.
Danny Bonaduce, life coach, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, Danny Bonaduce, life coach, is brought to you by Goldberg Jones, Divorce for Men, 1-800-DIVORCE. If you have a question about what's right in your divorce, and I say the same three things pretty much every time because they're one that jump to my mind, custody, child support, things like that. If you have any single question at all about the fairness of your divorce, we have Rick Jones in studio. I would call right now, 1-800-252-1025. Rick, thank you very much for being here, man.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. I think we should just... the phones are already out of control. Let's get to talking about this. Nancy in Linwood, and here's her question, and then Sarah picks them after this. How difficult will it be to get the court's permission to move with my grandson, of whom I have custody? Oh, that's a great question.
Well, let's hear from Nancy.
Nancy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool. What do you got? Well, I already read what you got, but it's a good one. It's a really good question.
Well, I got custody of my grandson in July 20th of 2012. CPS stepped in and asked me to do so because both of his parents are heroin addicts. The father is in his second 3-month treatment program right now. My daughter has been in 3 different treatment programs, and according to her, she's clean. I don't know, but...
Odds are she's lying.
I'm sorry?
That's not your question, but I just thought I'd throw that in there as a guy with some experience in this ballpark. The odds are that she's lying.
I know, exactly. And my youngest son is graduating in a year, and all of my family is in Eugene, Oregon, and I would really like to be able to move back and have their help, and I know that I want to take my grandson because I'm the only constant in his life.
Mr. Jones, did you get enough of that I didn't interrupt?
I did.
Nancy,
Nancy,
I'm not even going to fake it. I'm turning it over to Rick Jones.
Nancy, I've got a quick question for you. The custody that you have, is it through a parenting plan or is it through an order that happened through the dependency and with CPS?
CPS asked me to step in and get custody. In the end, both parents signed him over to me.
Okay. Do you have a parenting plan?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, there's what's called a Relocation Act in Washington that describes the procedure that you need to go through to be able to move. And think of it as a little bit of an obstacle course, but it's usually a pretty easy obstacle course for you to get through. And especially if they're not objecting at all, it's going to be a free ride down to Eugene. Even if they object, the standard for them to keep you here as the primary parent is really, really high. So the odds are very, very much in your favor.
If I can translate, pretty much 100% good news for you, right?
It's real close.
Really, that's
real
what I
close.
said, pretty close. 99%, you're going to get what you want on this.
As close as the lawyer's willing to admit.
Well, then that's 170%. But no, thank you very much, Rick. I appreciate it, and good luck to you.
Denise in Tacoma is next as Danny Bonaduce, life coach, with special guest Rick Jones from 1-800-DIVORCE.
So I talked with Rick a few weeks ago regarding a situation with my husband who had left with a pickup that I had bought him while he was still incarcerated. He's back now, but my question kind of is this. He had gotten a DWI, is going to be losing his driver's license, is still making bad choices. How do I protect myself legally from decisions that your spouse is making, being this community property in the state of Washington, as I understand it? Is there a document that I can file? Because I'm worried about something happening and my butt be hanging out there a mile in the wind financially.
Not only would I like to see that, but this is an excellent question. Do you have the answer for it, Rick?
I do. You divorce him.
And he's not smiling. We're the only ones smiling. You divorce him.
This is straight-faced. I mean, I could tell you all about what a legal separation means, but, you know, and frankly, I recall the conversation we had last week on the phone as well. It seems like the answer is pretty obvious to you, Denise.
Can you do it?
I'm not sure yet. I'm in counseling to figure out what I'm going
Rick
to
is
do.
not. I don't have Rick in here to be wrong. I mean, if he made a mistake, everybody makes a mistake. But I heard that, and I do the best that I can. I heard divorce this guy from a mile away. When Rick says it, I think there's not another question about it. You should divorce him.
All right, let's go to Don in Tacoma. Don, you're on with the life coach and Rick Jones.
Hi.
Hi.
I've been married for 14 years, and I'm looking down the barrel of a divorce. I am still madly and passionately in love with her, and there's a slim chance it'll work out. But if it doesn't, I don't want... she works part-time, and I work full-time, and I don't want to be the guy that has to pay for her to not pull her weight.
Right.
How do I, maybe so much protect myself? We have a daughter.
You got this, Rick? Rick, I'm just checking out in it because I want Rick to answer as many calls as possible. He was nodding like, I've already got this for you, bro. He's a smart guy.
What you're trying to do is to limit your exposure for spousal maintenance. And the way to do that, at least the change from what's already going on, is to try and get her income up. And what that means is for her to go from part-time to full-time. Any increase, of course, in hourly or salary is going to be beneficial as well. But your goal is to decrease the difference of income between the two of you before you hit D-Day, meaning divorce day.
Ah, nice. By the way, if you're calling in at 1-800-252-1025, you're talking to Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones. That's our sponsor. Just called 1-800-DIVORCE for Men.
Here's Shelley in Mount Vernon.
I have a question, and it's crazy because it's all transposed last night. My nephew and his girlfriend were together for like 4 years. They married in November. They have 2 kids. He had a house prior, like in his own name, before they got married, like 6 months before, and she left him in April. Now she wants a divorce, and she wants half the house. My understanding is she can only have half the equity for the first part of their marriage, correct?
Okay, with Rick here, I'm either going to get shot down or I get an attaboy, but I'd be surprised if she gets that much.
Attaboy.
Right on!
No, first of all, it's even easier than you think. If the marriage was a little bit longer than what you're talking about, I'd say, yeah, there's going to be an analysis of half of the equity increase in the period of time. But we're talking, 8 months that they've been married? Is that right?
In November, and she left in April.
Okay, so
The
8
kids
months
and
total.
everything. She left him, the kids, and everything.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it at all. The court would look at it and say this marriage has been such a short-term marriage, they're not going to let her dip her hand into that equity at all.
Nice. All right, this is still Danny Bonaduce, life coach, and we are talking to Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones. Call 1-800-DIVORCE.
Here's Scott in Tacoma.
Hiya, Scott.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Listen, I got a little situation here. I'm a father of 4, and my fourth child turns out that she may not be mine, and the supposed father won't leave me and my family alone, and keeps on harassing us.
Okay.
I'm wondering, I feel like she's my kid, and I've been there every step of the way, and he just kind of pops up out of nowhere, and I feel like I shouldn't even acknowledge him as a possibility of being the dad.
Okay, 2 things, and then I'll let the guy who actually knows takes over. Why are we not discussing DNA yet? I mean, there's the clear and cut answer. If that's not his kid, that is not his kid. Secondly, and that is, what was your exact question again? I want to make sure I got it right.
I just basically want to know, does he have the right to come in and take my kid from me, because I don't feel like I should even acknowledge him.
Nobody has the right to come in and take your kid. They can file paperwork, but he'll still probably lose. Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Rick Jones.
How old is your 4th child?
My 4th child is working on 2 years now.
Okay. Yeah, here's what's happening. First of all, the court doesn't like musical parents, like musical chairs. So right now, the fact that this child was born during a marriage, you are the presumed legal father. And the only thing that would change that is a specific paternity finding. Now, there's also public policy, though, that says, hey, listen, we don't want somebody just coming in and challenging paternity all this time. The fact that your child is 2 years old already and he's been sleeping on his rights means that the court is very likely to put up a big stop sign to him and say, it's not in the child's best interest to even go down this road.
If you wanted this kid so bad, where were you?
Exactly.
Very nice. I would not have. kind of like saying guess. I would have not have figured that one out. Thank you very much.
You know, can I answer a second question
Please
you had
do.
embedded in
Anything.
there? Which is, what can you do about this guy that's kind of hassling you? And you use the word harassment, and that's exactly where you want to go with this. You can go to the court, and depending on what these actions are, seek what's called an anti-harassment order that basically tells him, hey, stop it, enough. And it's going to force his hand, and ultimately, hopefully, it puts an end to this for you.
Cool. Thank you very much, and congratulations on the call. I bet you'll sleep a little easier tonight. I think that's all the time we have for Danny Bonaduce, life coach. We had our special. Hey, a round of applause for Rick Jones.
Thank you, Rick
fire
Jones.
today, there, Rick Jones.
And how
You're
can they
welcome.
find Rick Jones if
They
need more help?
can say Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones. Call 1-800-DIVORCE for men. The man's just a genius.
Danny Bonaduce, life coach. Danny Bonaduce, life coach.